The first look at Module 31.5 is here. It's got some long-awaited features like illusion previews, a bunch of new ones too, full Xbox controller support on PC, leaderboards for master dungeons and trials, and a new arena in Thay, very similar to what we had in Module 28. They're even dipping their toes back in PvP with 1v1 duels and 2v2 duels. So let's get into the details and have a look at everything from what we can see here on the preview test server. So first of all, let's have a quick look at this new Illusions Collection tab. It allows you now to actually view these items by right-clicking on them, so we'll finally be able to inspect illusions and see how they would look before, say, we would purchase them. They've also introduced new trail and footstep illusions. You can see what some of them would look like here. Again, that trail part is separate from the footsteps. As you can now see in the appearance section of your character sheet, an illusion tab, which shows where you put your armor and weapon illusions like normal, but then that trail and footstep. This is really cool. It's just unfortunate right now, yes, you can't preview those. But these new armor illusions, looking pretty cool there. Unfortunately, the weapon illusions don't seem to preview properly. And there's more here. Another armor illusion, just different color with those stars. There'll be one for your weapons too. A trail, footsteps, a pink one, green. And in this next tab, we have all of these ones. So it's going to make your armor look quite a bit different. You have a weapon one for that. There'll be a trail and footsteps too. Then this white color, red, and green. And then yes, you can see all the other illusions that we've had already. So you can have a look at them and then potentially purchase them based on actually being able to see what they would look like with your fashion setup, which is just really good. And then the older tab here with all those older armor and weapon illusions. So this is a huge addition. Very good they finally implemented this, making it a ton easier to choose what you actually want. And to even see what's available in the game and work on collecting them all. I can't for myself check out the Xbox controller support. I don't have an Xbox controller and I'm pretty hopeless at using a controller. I have next to no experience with them. As for the leaderboards, Master Dungeons and Trials, this is accessed by a new icon up here. It is a little bit bugged, I think, but you can see there are already some scores. I'm not so sure about how representative this is going to be. As you can see in this example, it's going to be based on how much damage you do in an instance of that dungeon. But this is just hitting the cap, and that's going to be pretty easy to do when you wipe a ton. Getting a ton of blocks, you simply just sit there and let them hit on you for a ton of time. Same with healing, you just sit there, take a ton of damage and you just heal. So I don't really see these numbers being very representative, and I would prefer these numbers to become like DPS, like heal per second, block per second, and that way it's based on duration and how much you can do within a minimum amount of time, rather than the time frame being unknown. And also having a leaderboard set up for how quickly you complete content would be a lot better of a representation. I'm happy they're finally introducing the infrastructure to be able to show this data, but it needs a little bit of fine tuning. These numbers are too easily abused, and it's something I definitely don't think, if it's put in this state, anybody should take seriously. There is the worry that some people do, and they will look at players' signups, and when they're creating groups, have a browse through the leaderboards, try find that person and see how effective they are. And if they're not near the top, they may just exclude them. And that's probably one of the big issues some people have. But let's have a look at the new content we can play. The new arena. You will have to go to Thay here at the main hub area. You speak to the new NPC. He gives you a quest, which leads you to the arena, where you will have to go and complete a round. So again, pretty similar to what we had in Module 28 with that arena to get marks of notoriety. You're going to have waves of enemies. This is actually designed more so for group content, but I assume you can get to a certain level as solo. You will have waves of enemies and then also having bosses. And once you kill a boss, we got a mark of the slaughterhouse already. We'll leave the arena. I assume we'll get more waves normally. We can complete the quest and then we're suggested to return back to Harper. But we can see the store here. You can purchase armor packs. They'll give you a random chance at certain rewards, including a whole bunch of the new illusions. There are these 2 other currencies too. And you can see in the equipment section here, this is a whole bunch of new gear. And this is class specific gear. Nothing crazy as far as I can see. And then there is this fashion setup here too. Actually pretty neat. Other than the cape going a bit crazy. I think that cape effect is also an issue with the Tiamat achievement cape. Hopefully they can get that addressed. But it looks pretty good. So that's pretty much the new content we'll be getting with module 31.5. Nice. You can recharge your daily power just here. I definitely like the addition of these things. Last thing to look at is the PvP. They are clearly pointing out here, you don't have to take it so seriously. Even if you just participate, win or lose, you will complete the quest. You only have to get acquainted with PvP once. To access PvP, you need to complete the initial PvE quest, and you will need the token of blood. That's purchased just here with 30 of these marks. For ease of testing, they've been added to the previous store. Winning a PvP match will reward you 60 marks of the slaughterhouse, basically doubling your initial investment. They are aware some of you have been waiting for PvP content for a long time, and so they want to be transparent. This PvP mode is a bit of a side loop, a passion project by a single developer. They do have plenty of ideas for future PvP content, and this is just the first step to test the waters to see if it's worth pursuing further. You will be scaled to an item level of 85,000 to put you on somewhat of a more level playing field. Of course, player stats and other bonus effects will have a big influence whether you win or lose. And I would definitely recommend, if you dev team are listening, there are some items that get completely broken in PvP and could well do with scaling or disabling in these arenas. I'm sure players will give a ton of feedback on that. But yes, that's about it for the preview of module 31.5, everything we know so far. And be aware, this is planned to release at the end of August. It is still in the preview state, open to change and player feedback, so be sure to jump on Discord, leave your thoughts and opinions, and the devs will read through it and see what the general consensus is with this new content. I definitely do like the addition of that new illusions tab. I think the leaderboard needs a bit of work. I think these achievements, these scores need to be more based on time and whether or not you actually complete the content. But overall, thanks for watching. A special thank you to all the channel members for your added support, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.